Are we doing the, are we having the hours preparation time first?
They already have 60-minute preparation.
Ah, they've already had the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
they already have. So I started with them before 9 o'clock, before you came.
Ah,
Right.
okay. No
So it's
worries.
up to you if you think that they need more preparation time, but maybe not. I assume.
Yeah. Do any of the debaters need a bit more preparation time? Or are you guys all ready to begin now?
Andrew raised a
Guys,
hand. Would Andrew want to say something before we start?
no, just a mistake.
Ah, okay. All right then. Well, give me just 1 minute to make sure that I've got everything I need prepared. And then we can get started. I'll be back in just one moment, guys. Oh, who's the proposition? Who's the opposition?
Friends will be P team proposition and
Yep.
MLM will be O opposition. So can
Okay.
we please can the speaker please name yourself, change your name, rename yourself to reflect you are O or P, and then speaker 1, 2, or 3, please.
All right. So friends are proposition, MLM are opposition.
Yep. And the motion
Should parenting be?
I already announced the motion before, but I can read again the motion today. Give me 1 second. I open and read it out. So the motion today is: should parents in Vietnam be allowed to use physical force to discipline their children? All right. Two per. And today we will have Mr. Michael is the moderator, and we have 5 judges. Now let I see the 5 judges. The first one is Judge Winston. Second judge is Judge Mark. Third judge is Judge Max. Number 4 judge Roth, and number 5 judge Vike of Victoria. Right. So over to you, Mr. Moderator.
Sorry, just one more tick, and then I am ready to go.
Okay.
All right, so 5 judges.
So for all the participants and the observer, please mute yourself, right? Make sure that you are always mute. Now, Mr. Moderator, do you need the assistant to what we call to watch the chat box?
No. Once I have written down all of this stuff, I'll have everything I need.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So we have Bella and Rosa who are observer. If you need any assistance.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Bob and Andrew. Okay, thank you for your patience, everybody. We are ready to begin now. So, good morning to everybody in Vietnam and across the globe. If we have any international guests with us today, my name's Michael. I'll be the moderator for today's NCSN Debating Championship Tournament Grand Championship. We have a cracker of a debate lined up today, as our two teams have battled their way through 3 or 4 previous rounds of competition, and they're here ready to take the title today. The motion for our debate will be, should parents in Vietnam be allowed to use physical force to discipline their children? Arguing for the proposition and saying yes, parents should be able to, we have the team of the Friends, consisting of Bob, Anne, and Andrew. And their respected opponents today arguing for the opposition, saying no, parents should not be allowed to use physical force. We have the team of MLM, Lucy, Michael, and Mina. Overseeing today's proceedings will be our marvelous judging panel of Winston, Mark, Max, Rob, and Vike. Now that we've gotten all of the important information out there, we can begin. At this time, I would like to invite the Friends first. So I'd like to invite the proposition team's first speaker, Bob, to open the debate. Your time starts now.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges, respectful opponents, and my fellow teammates, I stand before you today as the first speaker of the proposition team to affirm the motion that should parents be allowed to use physical force to discipline their children. Now, I would like to define the motion in my perspective. The term physical force refers to use the bodily strength or energy to exert an influence or cause an effect on a person or object. Firstly and foremost, before agreeing to this content, we must understand that physical force comes in many forms and ways, and to what extent. Now I will come to my first argument. I believe that in certain situations, using physical force as a form of discipline by parents may be necessary. Using physical force to discipline children can have to increase compliance. When parents use physical force to discipline the children, it can increase compliance with rules and boundaries. Children are more likely to follow rules and listen to their parents when they know that there will be consequences for not doing so. This can help children learn self-discipline and develop a sense of responsibility. However, it's very crucial to distinguish between reasonable discipline and excessive or harmful actions. Secondly, in some cultural contexts, such as Vietnam, there might be long-standing traditions and cultural norms that view physical discipline as a meaning of teaching respect and obedience. However, it's crucial to emphasize that any form of discipline, including physical means, should be applied with caution, restraint, and a manner that prioritizes the children's well-being. Striking a balance between cultural practices and ensuring the children's safety is utmost importance. So, in conclusion, I firmly believe that we should use physical discipline to teach children. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bob. We will now begin the 1-minute preparation period before the first opponent speaker. Thank you for your patience, debaters. I would now like to invite the first speaker for the opposition team, Lucy, to open the counter case. Your time begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
Greetings, everyone. As a friendly say of hello, and I stand for you as the first speaker of Team MLM, Lucy. Today motion is that should parents use physical force to discipline their children in Vietnam? Since we're on the opposition side, I'm going to convince you with my teammates that parents should use physical force to discipline their children. First of all, I would like to fix the other team's definition. We define children who are less than 18 years old, younger than 18 years old, and physical force means things like smacking, shoving, pushing, hitting, and spanking. Now, I will start with my rebuttals. Your two main ideas is that responsibility of parents and that there's a cultural of the way teaching children in Vietnam. And about the responsibility, I think that parents can do their responsibility without using physical force. And secondly, you talk about a cultural way of teaching children. And I believe that this is a bad tradition and we should not continue it. We should erase it and make a better tradition. Now, I would like to start with my team's arguments. First of all, physical punishment is harmful because harsh physical punishment is linked to anxiety, depression, substance abuse, and antisocial behaviors in adulthood, which is a similar way to child abuse. And hitting your children may physically, emotionally scar them. This could also make the children form hatred to their parents. And then when they do this, then physical punishment sets a bad example. Like when parents punish their children, children will grow up with the idea that when they do bad things, they get physical punishment. And then they will do the same thing with their children, and that just goes in a loop. And then they were taught that physical force is the solvent to problems in life. As the modern generations thought that that was the only way to shut the problems down that will lead to poorer society in Vietnam. And I believe that there are more effective ways to discipline children, such as mental treatment, gently talking to them they're misbehaving about and consequences, and give them time to think about their faults. And if you want to give them punishments, you can give them more chores or give them a timeout. Like in my house, when I do something bad, my dad will have me in my room and sit there for about 30 minutes. Because I believe that when we do that, they will behave worse because children don't understand what they're wrong. They just understand that they are wrong and they don't know what they're wrong about. We still got a few more ideas, but I'll leave that to my second speaker, Michael. That's the end of my speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucy. We will now begin the 1-minute preparation period before our next speaker. Okay, that concludes our preparation period. I would now like to invite the second speaker for the proposition team, Anne, to continue building her team's case. Your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello, honorable judges, our fellow debaters in the audience. I am Anne, the second speaker of the proposition team. Our motion for today is, should parents in Vietnam be allowed to use physical forces to discipline their children? And my team agrees with the motion. Now, I will rebut against the opponent's point as well as state my points. First, I will rebut against the opponent's point. So, the first speaker from the opposition team says that physical forces may lead to depression. I don't think that it may lead to depression. That may be true in some cases, but if we use physical forces and then we use words to tell them why they are wrong, it may not lead to depression. And she also says that it is kind of like child abuse, but this is very wrong, because child abuse is when the child doesn't do anything wrong, but we keep using physical forces on the child. But this is when we use physical forces on the children because they have done something bad. She also says that they will be thinking like if they do bad things, they'll get punished, and parents will use physical forces on them. That is actually a good thing, because they will be scared
1
and
minute.
they won't do bad things again. Now I will state my points. First and foremost, a strong, wild child is somewhat different from a child who is not temperamentally inclined when it comes to getting what one wants, or opposing what she or he doesn't want. Strong-willed things seem to run like this. If I want it a lot. If I want it a lot, then I must have it. If I must have it, then I should get it. If I should get it, then I am entitled. If I don't get that to which I am entitled, I will get angry and use anger to try to get my way. If we use words to teach them, they just get angrier and keep arguing with us non-stop. We must use physical forces to teach them because they are too stubborn. After that, when they are calm, we must sit with them and tell them why they are wrong and why they mustn't do that. Furthermore, using physical forces to teach children will make them remember the lesson and never make the mistake again. If we just use our words to teach them, they may not remember the lesson. They may not be scared of their parents and always think, oh, they're just gonna talk to me if I do bad things again, and they will keep doing bad things. But if we use physical forces, they will be scared and remember the lesson. They will think, if I do bad things again, my parents will use physical forces. So they will be scared of it and they won't do bad things. Vietnamese ancestor has said, spare the rod and spoil the child. It means that if one does not discipline a child, he or she will never learn obedience and good manners. For example, when my father was about 10 years old, he saw my grandfather stop smoking and start to copy. When my uncle saw him smoking, I went and took the cigarette away
3
and used
minutes.
physical forces on my father. When he grew up, he knew that smoking can affect his health, so he didn't do it. He remembers the lesson to this day. What are the consequences if my uncle did not use physical forces on him? I could have led him to a very bad life. So those are the reasons why my team agrees with the motion. Thank you. I rest my case here.
Thank you very much, Anne. We'll now begin the 1 minute preparation period before the next speaker. I just realized I had been I had been on my on mute that whole time. My apologies, guys. I'd now like to invite the opposition team's second speaker, Michael, to continue building their team's case. Your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Michael from Team MLN, and I'm the second opposition speaker. So, to start my speech, I would like to rebut the other team's argument. So, about something you said, that child abuse is not like not equally accepted with physical discipline. That is true, but I will explain why it's still worth an argument of ours. And second, like, we're scared when they get punished, but I will also group your arguments into my arguments. And you said that other ways to treat like solvents are not effective to like very, very stubborn child, and they will not remember the lesson, and it's also spoil the child if they are treated in like not physically punished. But I said that what if like they are even more
1
stubborn,
minute.
and they will change their behavior to something worse? For example, they're like ignoring their parents and still pretending that they're listening, they're not doing it anymore, but they will sneakily do it as parents cannot control this child all over the place they go. And this will lead to them being emotionless. They ignore other people about their feelings. Like, they don't understand how much their parents had to try to tell them about the fault they're just doing, or just being more disrespectful. And parents just still hitting them, but they don't understand the thing. For example, that children, they think they're still right among doing that action, but parents just hitting them and just explain less to them what they actually wrong and how to correct them. So there's nothing they can do, so they can just ignore it. And physical punishment is against the law in Vietnam. Under law of protection, care, and education of children was amended by the National Assembly on November 3rd, 2021, is to include a ban on physical punishment, among other provisions. It's not depicted whether it is child abuse or using force to discipline children. So it is that we are doing using physical force to discipline children is against the law, and parents who use physical force will arrested and charged with a crime. And now it is there to start a new world and reduce the ancient, outdated ways of teaching children. So that, well, when the child behavior is not actually, it's not that it depends on the child behavior that we should use physical
3
force on
minutes.
path. It wouldn't work because the child will lead to be emotionless, not understand anything that their parents said, and so that mentally treat them, talking about what they do wrong and about their consequences is that what matter the most. And I think that stubborn child will get it too, because when they get understand and they can see it all clearly, they hopefully don't do it anymore, just rather than beating them and not tell them anything about what they have done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Michael. We'll now go into our 1 minute preparation period before we invite the third and final speaker for the proposition team to close their case. Okay, thank you very much for your patience, guys. I would now like to invite the third and final speaker for the proposition team, Andrew, to make their closing remarks. Your time will begin in 3, 2, 1, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed judges, respectful opponents, and my fellow teammates, as the third speaker of the affirmative team, I rise to include a compelling case in support of the motion that should parents in Vietnam be allowed to use physical force to discipline their children. Firstly, I will point out some flaws and rebut the opponent's arguments. He said that violence is not good and is banned in Vietnam, but I think that sometimes using a light physical spanking will not hurt you with harsh insults. Now, I would like to summarize my team case. Firstly, we said a reasonable using physical force to discipline children may help to increase compliance with rules and boundaries in some cultural contexts, such as Vietnam. Physical discipline as a means of teaching respect and obedience. We believe this is true because physical punishment can help children develop better self-control and impulse
1 minute.
control. When children are spanked or hit, it can teach them to think and to consider the consequences of their actions. This can help them become more thoughtful and reasonable individuals. Also, cultural norms and vows play a significant role in shaping parenting practices, and some argue that mild physical discipline may be effective in teaching children boundaries and respect. Secondly, we said that a strong-willed kid is somewhat different from a child who is not temporarily inclined. When their parents teach them by voices, they can hardly understand what their parents say. So parents need to use physical discipline to teach them. That way they could remember what their parents taught them. Finally, I would like to give out a new point to support my team case. Reasonable using physical force to discipline children can help to increase emotional intelligence. Physical punishment can help children develop greater emotional intelligence. When children are disciplined in the way that is appropriate to their age and developmental level, it can help them learn to recognize and manage their emotion. This can help them develop greater self-awareness and empathy for others. In conclusion, I firmly believe that we should use physical to discipline children. Thank you for listening.
I did that thing again where I'm muted. We're now going to begin the 1 minute preparation period before we have Nina close out the opposition team's case. Okay. Thank you all very much for your patience. At this time, I'd now like to invite Mina to conclude the opposition team's case. Your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
Hello everyone, I am Nina, the third speaker of opposition team. Today our team proudly presenting the opposition opposition side of this have believed that parents should use physical force to discipline their child in Vietnam. So as a third speaker, I will first start my rebuttal part. So your second speaker have said that it is child physical force did not lead to depressions. Okay, so as we have stated that why not? Because when children are being hit, they're being spanked, they're being hurt by their parents, they of course leads to depression. The second thing that you have said, it is not child abuse. Like when you're spanking, hurting, you
1
are
minute.
you're helping them. You're helping them to be like better. And there are other ways. Like you said that when children doing nothing and they still being hit, that is child abuse. But why if they cannot being hurt, if they cannot being hurt, why you choose the way for them to be hurt? And the third speaker of your team has said light physical force did just make them to remember it, and that is actually opposite of what your second speaker has said. She said that when they are hurt, they will remember the lessons, but you said that light physical force will not leave them did not leave any pain. So that's like the two opposite side of your team. So I will secondly, I will come to my team closing. I will repeat my team's strongest idea. So firstly, physical punishment is harmful. It is linked to anxiety, depression, substance abuse, and a lot, and it will lead to antisocial behaviors in adulthood in a similar way to child abuse. Secondly, physical punishment sets a bad example. When parents punish their student, children will grow up with the idea that when children do bad things, they get physical punishment and they would do the same with their children, and it's just go to
Sorry,
the
Nina, pause. My apologies. I've just seen Andrew's POI. Andrew, I'll start your POI timer and you will have 15 seconds.
Okay, so I didn't say that lights physical don't leave them pain. So I said that light physical means that they need to be heard and then they remember the lesson. So what do you think about it?
Okay, Mina, would you like to respond?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
My response is if that is your statement, then there are another way. There are other ways to punish them. Like my first speaker has said, you can their
Okay.
time out, the
Thank you,
10 seconds
Mina.
over.
POI reply time is ended. We'll continue with your substantive, and you have 1 minute and 47 seconds remaining. Go.
And as more and when they are adult, they would thought that physical force is the solvent to every problems in life, and that is very bad. Thirdly, it doesn't work. The research shows that it won't be a long run. Like the children
3
will
minutes.
ignore it, they will be disrespectful to their parents and etc. Lastly, physical punishment is against the law in Vietnam. The Law of Protection, Cares, and Education of Children was amended by the National Assembly on November 3rd, 2021, included a ban on physical punishment among other provisions. And at the end, I'm still proudly stated that parents should not use physical punishment to punish children in Vietnam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mina. The portion of the debate for substantive speeches has now ended. And we are going to begin the 2-minute preparation period for the reply speeches. Okay, thank you very much for your patience, everybody. I would now like to invite the reply speaker for the opposition team to present their reply speech. Please keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that there are no POIs or interruptions of any kind during a reply speech. So, opposition reply speaker, your time starts in 3, 2, 1, go.
So it's Michael, the MLM reply speech, also the second speaker. So I will identify the main clashes throughout the debate, which is that you said that it's a cultural way to teach children through physical force to discipline the children, but I presented with the Vietnam new laws that that is totally illegal. And the children will get scared when they receive physical punishment. And I said that it would not work because they choose to ignore their parents, and it leads to them being emotionless and not thinking about others. And thirdly, they remember the lessons and will reply with they will sneakily do it in some ways that parents will don't know. So I would say that your best case, they will that children will remember the lessons, and it is some kind of effective way to treat like stubborn child. But I say that the team worst case is that children will turn into like emotionless, and they will use the same way using physical force to teach their students, and they believe that physical force is the only way to solve problem in life, and that will lead to a lot of other problem and poorer society. So that is the conclusion of my reply speech. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Michael. I would now like to hand it over to the proposition team to present their reply speech. Your time begins in 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The motion before us today: should parents in Vietnam be allowed to use physical forces to discipline their children, has brought forward some insightful arguments from both sides. I would like to summarize all stands and address some critical points. Our team has shown that in certain situations, using physical force as a form of discipline by parents may be necessary. Using physical forces to teach children will make them remember the lesson and never make that mistake again. Our first speaker, Bob, has said that when parents use physical force to discipline their children, it can increase compliance with rules and boundaries. Our second speaker, Anne, or me, had also said that Vietnamese ancestor has said that spare the rod and spoil the child. It means that if one does not discipline a child, he or she will never learn obedience and good manners. Now I will move on to my refutation. So the second speaker of the opposing team says that kids may be stubborn, and if we spank them, they may be very stubborn and they may not learn the lesson. That is not true because every kid, they're small and they are scared. They are afraid of parents using physical forces on them. So they must remember the lesson. And he also says that kids may be emotionless. How could they be emotionless? They are scared. So they will remember the lesson. So, in conclusion, the evidence and arguments presented today clearly show the drawbacks of why parents must use physical forces to teach children. We must prioritize the well-being and real learning experiences of all children over traditional practices that may not serve them best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to all of our debaters. The debate has now concluded, and we will have the judges do some deliberation, work out who won, and we'll get back to you with some results and some feedback. Ms. Duke?
You call me?
Yes, so we've finished with the debate now. We just need the judges to deliberate. Who's going to
Okay,
the
so
breakout?
I'm going to have 2 room. Yeah. So I let the participant to choose their room, right? So maybe room 1 is room O, and room B, and then B is for proposition, O for opposition, and then it's up to the participant. So participant, you are welcome to join either room O or room P to support the team O or team P. So what you have is join your room, have your reflection, chit chat, sing a song, do whatever you want. You done the work, right? So now let's enjoy and waiting for the final result. Okay. All right. So if something is interesting inside that breakout room, please record for me and share with me later, because I heard that in the last semi-final, Mr. Michael, they have entertainment there. They sing a song, they
Yeah. Oh,
play
bless
the
him.
piano, they dance. So I would
bless him.
love to. All
There's a
right.
fly on the wall to see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So please join the breakout room, the team. Judges, please stay in the main room, and we have the deliberation. All right. Please, quick. Mr. Michael, is it possible that you share the Excel file for marking? Do you have
Share
the
the
criteria
Excel.
in the Excel file or no?
I can share that PDF.
Would you be able to quickly put copy text that criteria in the in the Word document or in the something that all the churches can enter the score?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So everyone, if you
Give me
don't join, I have to move you to the team. Yeah. All right. So I just randomly, okay. I just randomly allocate. Rosa and I'm not sure who is Summer. Right. So Rosa and Bella can stay here, yeah, Mr. Michael? They are
Yeah, that's
observers, but they
fine.
belong to the judges, yeah? So
Yeah, that's
it's
fine.
just they don't mark. Right. Right. I think everyone already in the room. So you can start the
Yeah.
Who is the server?
We should send our score.
I would like the score, the specific score. So
I
if
have
possible, you
percentage
know,
score.
like
Like
I
for
gave-
each
I
speaker.
give
Excuse me,
feedback and
any of
percentage
you
score.
have the Excel, you know, the criteria in Excel or something? How do you enter the score?
I only have
I
like
did
on
in the
Google Docs,
Word
like
document.
charts on Google Docs. And this is a chart and then it's the
However,
percentage of each person on the scale of 100.
Mr. Michael is the moderator Michael is preparing the spreadsheet. So then we share
So
as
we just
the
wait.
So like can
what
I
you call
I
like
my
I have to
score-
copy the whole thing from my judging into the like the spreadsheets, right?
yes, yes.
Okay.
I have like the score, but like in total the score of the style, content, and strategy. Because,
Can we be more specific for each criteria? So we take
we
time.
do
Yeah.
actually I cannot type every single category into the words because it's too
No,
long.
no, no. We're doing
small.
now. So
Okay, so
so Mr. Michael, so everyone you just write down in your own note of
okay, okay.
Mr. Michael will provide a Excel spreadsheet. No, if possible, Mr. Michael, make it as Google spreadsheet and share the link.
I've already done it as a Word document that I'll just send it to all the judges.
Okay.
Like
And
just send it to us
then-
and then we'll just paste our adjudication on there and then we just find the average of each person on all judges. Yeah.
Yeah. Find the average. Don't do a cumulative total. So you don't want a total
Okay.
score of like 200.
But like the only thing that is in my way because I did a percentage score on the scale of 100. Like I did a percentage score. Not like in like points out of 25, but I did out 100.
Yeah.
That's the only
Um,
thing.
man. Okay, so
Mr. Michael, can you send me like the file Excel or what?
Sorry about that. My computer decided it didn't want to be in the call anymore. All right, so yes, I've almost finished with this sheet. Okay.
No. Rob, please either send the score to the file that Mr. Michael have sent you, or
Okay,
send to
yes,
Mr. Michael. Don't send to me. Yeah.
Okay, so with this one, everyone download a copy of that document and then just transfer your scores to it. I'll show you what I've done with it. So each speaker, you just fill out their name. I've already filled in team proposition speaker 1, proposition speaker 2, proposition speaker 3, proposition reply, opposition, same thing. So all you've got to do is just fill in the debater's name. So proposition speaker 1 was Bob. And then you would just go through and just apply your score. So for style, I don't know. I thought I'm just making things up here. Gave him a 7 for style. I thought his content was a 6, and for strategy, I gave him a 3. That gives him a total score of 16. And then any feedback just goes in here, where you might say, good eye contact. Work on emphasis. So just type in little notes like that that are going to help you to remember the feedback you want to give these debaters once the once we bring them back into this room. So if you do that, then we'll have everything we need to transfer the scores into a Google Sheet document. So yeah, so use these scores. Use these sheets to put your scores on. And then once you've done that, start talking to the other judges.
Excuse me.
Together. So who did you guys decide who was the head judge?
No.
Wait,
Okay, who would you
Mark?
guys like to be the head judge?
I actually don't.
Mark.
Mike?
Mark.
Wait.
Oh, Mike. Oh,
Mark.
Mark.
Mark, not Vi.
Wait,
Sorry, so Mark,
can
are you cool to be the
Wait.
head judge, Mark?
I prefer if somebody else did it, but if they want me, then I'm fine with it.
Would anyone else like to be the head judge?
No.
Okay, looks like you're stuck with it, Mark. You got voted. No one else wants to take it. Okay, so what'll happen is once everybody's filled out their scorecards and written their feedback here, I want all of the judges to talk about it. Now, Mark, I need you to create a second document. So as all of the judges tell you their scores, just write down, just record each debater's score, and then work out the average score between the 5 judges, and that will be each team's score. And so you'll be responsible for announcing the winner, announcing the winner, the loser, and you'll be in charge of saying who won best speaker. Okay, so once you've done that, you can give all of the debaters a little bit of your feedback, and then just select the next judge to say, okay, now I'll hand it over to Judge Vike. She'll give her feedback to all of the judges, to all of the debaters. And then Judge Vike, who I can clearly see is pulling faces at me, will select the next judge. So she'll say, okay, I'd like Judge Winston to speak next. and then you'll flow through your feedback in that respect. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
So I've made a different document where I would put all of your scores in and calculate the average. So I prefer it if you would.
If you've already got a score sheet thing done up that helps you calculate the average scores of the teams, feel free to use that. But yeah, we obviously just want to make sure that accuracy is the most important thing. So if you can guarantee that spreadsheet will be accurate, then yeah, use the spreadsheet if the maths is right.
Mr. Michael, moderator Michael, I can help with do the calculation. So what I did, I put the Excel and what we call Google spreadsheet. The judges can just enter the mark there and the feedback there.
They can all enter their marks there.
Yeah, and then I will do it when we are talking, right? And I also happy to share. So this is a spreadsheet, right? So everyone just exactly what I do is I copy from your work document, Mr. Michael.
Oh, perfect. Look
right?
at that.
Yeah, I do all the calculation for you, right? So I stop share. I can leave the share, it's fine. I just
Yeah, beautiful. Okay,
All right.
yeah, guys. So even better, Miss Dux made this awesome spreadsheet for you all to use. So just go into it and put all of your scores. And then that spreadsheet will help you calculate your average score. So yeah, guys, just prepare what feedback you want to give to the judges and put your to the debaters and put all your scores into that spreadsheet. I will be back, probably give me about 5-10 minutes. And then I'll see how you guys are doing and if you need any help. So I'll be back in about 10 minutes, guys.
Sure.
You're muted, by the way.
Should everyone fill out the whole spreadsheet for your scores?
Oh no, I forgot to check the chat and I finished in the Word document. I have to type it again.
I just pasted it.
It's the same format, so you just copy
Okay.
it into the correct color. I mean the correct column, got your name, yeah? And then do the average score one.
Judge Winston, Judge Rob, and Judge Parker, could you finish up? And Judge Max, could you finish up putting the scores in
Okay.
so we can move on to the discussing period?
Um, it's kind of slow.
Yeah, it's fine. Just try to hurry it up. Yeah.
I would check the total later. 7.5.
Guys, the judging order is in P1, P2, P3, reply speaker of proposition, and then
Like
one.
Should we share the screen so we do or we all look at the screen? Because what I do worry that who's that? Max? Yeah, Max,
I
can you
thought
make
the-
sure that you enter in the correct
No, like I
correct
thought the
cell,
order-
please?
I thought the
Yeah.
order was P101, P202, and then P303, and then 2 replies. I thought that was the order.
Yeah. So
Yeah, could Judge Winston finish up his scores?
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Mark, if you done, can you make sure you help me to enter the name of the proposition? The proposition I have entered, but for who is the reply speaker for the proposition and the name of the speaker of the opposition, please?
Okay.
Yes. So proposition I highlight in green and opposition I will highlight in yellow so we know. Yeah.
Okay, so I just need to insert the names, right?
Yeah, just a name, please. Yeah. Then we know that we are talking in the correct speaker. We mark the correct speaker.
Okay. First is Bob, and then Bob and
Olivia, you need to go to the either the waiting room or the breakout room.
yeah, I think we should wrap up the inserting scores period now.
Wait, I'm
Yeah.
almost done with my scores.
We'll
I'm almost
use
done
the
with them.
inserting scores. I know
Sorry
that we have
about
to
that
kind of
disconnection,
wrap this
guys.
up
I
now.
don't know what happened.
Oh
So
God. Wait, why is so laggy right now?
So where are we, guys? What how are we coming along with finalizing the scores and getting feedback ready?
yeah, we are finishing up putting down the scores. We're still waiting for one more per judge.
No worries. And we all know what feedback we want to give.
Yeah.
I have
I
very
think.
long feedback. I have very long feedback, but I cannot paste it into the NCSN. Like I have some Like some
With-
things I want to highlight for some people, why they got some great scores and why they got some around average scores.
If
So
if
we just
if that's the case, everybody
It's
just,
okay.
everybody just post your
No, can
po-
put here.
just so
Everyone can put here in the column, and then I will put it, max it out. You can see it's fine. Yeah. Or if you want, we can have another column for feedback. But if you put it here, we still be able to see. Yeah. So just copy the paragraph here. We will be able to see too. I saw one of you put the feedback before.
That's
Ms.
like the
Ms. Duke,
Yeah.
where's the link for this thing? I'll create a quick sheet for feedback.
Oh, okay. So here I put in the chat again. Maybe because when you came out, you didn't see it. Yeah, it lost.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I came back. There was this weird error message, and I've spent about 3 minutes trying to get back in.
Okay.
Okay, I'm here now.
You got it?
Yeah. Okay, sheet 2.
Hey, could I remind that reply speakers have different criteria for judging? Judge Rob, could you redo your reply speaker scores?
Wait, what? I check it out. Let me check it again.
No, it's only something at a 5, not at a 10.
Hey guys, whoever's editing the feedback page, can you let me do it, please? I'll get this done super quick.
Okay, so I removed the.
Yeah.
So I removed the feedback cell. Yeah, and we
Yeah.
have the separate one. Yeah.
Thấy chưa?
Yeah. So I think we've finished with putting the scores in. Yes.
Cool. Whoop.
Excuse me, George. Wait, let me check it. Judge Vike, I don't really understand your score for the let me check it. Sorry, I have to check it again.
No, that's not me. Why are my scores so freaking high? What?
No, the
I'm
last one is the total. The last one. This one is the total.
Yes.
This one, let I put it a green color, okay? That is the total.
Okay.
Yeah, the total is mean like, yeah.
Miss Judge, should
All right,
we
blue one
average
is the
it out?
total, okay? Yeah. No, we don't put average, we put total. So then who have a highest one, we win.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Ms.
All right,
Jook,
so
No, I
I
think
will
we
have the team total, yeah.
once all of the judges have provided their scores, we are looking for an average score, not a total score to,
Oh, average? You want average?
yeah, we want the
Okay,
average of all 5 of the judges' scores.
all right. That-
Oh wait,
I do average at the end if you want to, yeah. So I
yeah,
got the average here, yeah.
let's
So
just
average is just divide
divide
by
by
5,
five.
it's fine, yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah, so the feedback page is ready now as well, guys. If you where's the Yeah, so if you guys just copy and paste your feedback. So I've got the lines for I've got the columns for each judge and a row for each speaker. So you can find which judge you are and which speaker you're feedbacking and just paste your feedback in there.
Yeah, could everyone wrap their text only to their box?
Okay. Có chưa đâu. Đang chờ thầy cộng điểm lại hết nè. Từ từ. Ừ.
Could we not merge cells because each judges will have to do their own feedback?
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen the merging of cells, like the merging of boxes. So could we not, because
Oh, you want me to unmerge? You want me to share screen again or no? Yeah.
yeah, I will. Sorry, sorry.
I thought that you want. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
the feedback is here.
yeah, basically,
Yeah.
have you seen the merged cells and everything?
Oh, it's not merged. It is what we call is the.
So
I think it's
overflow, right?
wrapping. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I removed the wrapping.
yeah, so for example, I did the wrapping on myself, my cells, and it works fine. And I think most like everyone should be wrapping their text so that it doesn't
Yeah.
go to
Who
others.
is here? Okay, and then I just unwrap it. Wrapping wrap.
Yeah, could you wrap it so that
Oh,
the text doesn't overflow the box?
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right. Yeah. Oh, only in your column, yeah. Right. Oh, it's okay. I
Excuse me,
remove
I
one by
cannot
one.
check the where's the like the feedback
The
reply.
second tab,
I don't have it.
is
Wait.
it wrong? It is in the same spreadsheet, but it got the feedback.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, let's quickly do this. I
All
wanna
right. So
get
unmerged
like
already, Mark. Yeah.
yeah, I've done my part.
Oh. Okay, I do my score, right? So should I sum up on the score? for all the team one?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. So I use the formula 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the score. Right, now let I highlight is in yeah.
5, 7, 13. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the yellow one.
Yeah, this is the average score for the whole team, right?
Yeah, the whole team. So that is equal first speaker plus
Second.
right plus and plus. Wow, serious?
Wow.
0.3
0.3
different. Right,
0.3
now let I see who the best speaker. So Annie's got
Anne, I think.
18 for 20.
Yeah.
Mina,
Yeah, I
Mina,
expect.
Mina got 1840.
What?
Mina?
1780. Sorry.
Yeah.
No,
It was very close.
where? So this
No,
this is
Anne
the
is
Annie's highest, 1820.
yeah, Anne is higher.
Another one is 1540. Bob is 1540.
Andrew is
This one
1710.
16, Lucy 16. So Annie is the best speaker.
Correct.
Wow. So this is the best speaker is not as the
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So
There will be.
yeah.
Oh my god,
So
and
final
even
result.
beat Michael.
Hmm?
And even beat Michael in the MLM team.
Michael?
Yeah,
What?
Michael.
Wait, that was.
No, Michael, only 16.
I know. I just said she even beat Michael.
Yeah. I mean,
Michael
we
had a great
Still
workout.
waiting.
like one
What?
just give Michael the maximum score, but on average he is less.
Yeah, Michael. Well,
Hang
I
on,
think
what
Michael just had.
happened? Can I check the first judges? Mark, can you remark it? Because your score is quite far away compared with other. Like,
Really?
have you looked carefully? Because, the total score. And I think one, who is this person? You can't mark 11 when the maximum is 10. Is it? Well, sorry, what is the total
Yeah, that's
score?
It's me. Okay. Oh, I forgot to fix it.
And
I forgot to fix it. It's the wrong score.
I mean, keep in mind those scores down the bottom there in the total. That should be out of 25.
Oh, 25. Oh, so then that's fine. I thought that it's
Yeah.
over 10. Okay.
No,
Oh.
so
Oh, is it?
so style is out of 10, content is out of 10, and strategy is out of 5. So you add those 3 components together.
Okay, so
you get
that's
a total
fine, but
score of 25.
I'm just asking because I'm just
So, is
asking
it?
Mark, like Mark, if you look, I mean, I respect your decision, but if you look, would you consider, because there is one, like the next church mark 20 out of 25, and one church mark 11.5 out of 25. Right? So
Oh,
just
no,
consider.
Oh wait,
that was
reply speaker is out of wait, where is it?
Here,
Oh, that's
Michael. Yeah.
The
what I
reply
did
speaker
wrong.
max
Hang
is
on.
10.
So I think that's an error on my part. Let me just make one quick.
Oh, you mean the sum? Hang on, let I do the sum.
No,
Okay.
it's not any of the equations.
This is equation. I do the equation, Michael. So if it's not the equation, then I do it. No, it's still, this is the equation. I did it. So maybe the churches, you shouldn't mark you should just enter the raw mark. Don't put the formula, but it's all correct.
Wait,
Yeah.
so the max point for the reply
Yeah,
speaker
I
is
think
10?
this one is incorrect because it should be formula. And when I have the formula, it is 18. So the one
Okay.
before, I put formula.
Okay.
Yeah. So let I do the formula instead. So you just enter the raw score and I do the formula. So there will be no error.
That's better. Okay, so the main thing there is that I forgot to make the distinction between 15 points for the reply speech and 25 points for the substantive, but I fixed that now for the reply speeches. I mean, all up, these
It should
scores.
be equal. Yeah.
So looking at this all up, 16.
Can you check like the reply speech for in total the max is 10, right?
The max total
reply?
for reply score of reply speeches
15.
is 15.
All right,
So
maybe I enter there. Oh, this is okay, Michael. I enter the total here. So
Yeah.
this is total is 25. Yeah.
I scored them
The next-
11. Is it good? Because teacher Mr. said it's kind of wrong. Kind of like
No,
I
I don't mean wrong. I just mean that there is a big discrepancy
Oh, okay.
between one church to another church. Like you
Okay.
see, one church is 20, one church is 11. Where if we mark it on the same criteria, they
Yeah, yeah.
should be closer. The gap is closer.
Yeah.
Well,
So because if you notice that I give them a higher score with their reply speaker to reply speaker, it pretty high, I guess, higher than other church, both of them.
I
Yeah,
mean,
for speaker to Michael from opposition, I gave him the 11.5, and well,
if you have a look at all of these scores here, the averages themselves are not that far away, like 15, 18, 17, 16, 16, 17. And then you look at the reply speeches, 7.3 to 7.9. Realistically speaking, there are going to be a few outliers because each judge will have their own, like for all we are marking to the same standard, each judge is going to have a slightly different definition of what fits into that standard. So based on the total scores we're receiving, there's not that big an outlier. There's just a few judges that it appears like seem to really enjoy some speeches a lot more than others. But for the most part, it's all pretty close. It's not like what do you call it? I mean, like final scores here, 58.9 to 58. It's not like we're doing like, 48 to 62 or something. So
Okay.
those scores, honestly, as long as each judge can say to Ms. Duke and I right now that they genuinely marked how they felt, there were no underlying favorites being played, these scores
Yeah.
seem fine. These
Yeah.
scores seem fine.
Yeah, for if you were wondering why there was an 11.5 in op speaker 2 from my side, I think that I discarded the line of mechanism on their side simply because I do not see, like, okay, they provided a lot of impacts, but like, okay, this leads to this leads to this. It was all impacts and I couldn't find the reasoning behind it, so I couldn't credit.
Wait, so you said op speaker 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
That's fine.
that's fine, because like I say, each judge is probably going to care about one aspect more than another, depending on which judge is listening. So no, like honestly, like you've provided a justification as to why your score is so different. That sits all right with me.
Yeah, well, I think that we've filled out the feedback and scores. Could we
Okay.
call the
So the winner is opposition, which is the
the
M&M.
opposition team?
Yeah. And then the best speaker
Best speaker
is N. Yeah.
from proposition. Yeah.
Right. So is he the best speaker? Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
All right. We got it.
Beautiful. That looks like we're ready to bring them back in.
Mm-hmm. Right. And
Okay.
then if the judges want to, explain the result. Yeah.
Yeah, so with this one, because it is the final, I reckon maybe go into a bit more detail with them. Like, don't go super crazy, but like go into a bit of go into a bit of detail with them. Spend about I'd say try and spend about 30 seconds to a minute talking about each debater would be my advice, if you can. But all right, so we'll bring them back in. We'll announce the results. And
So would you think that it's still a good idea to share the result so that they see how hard we have been working and how close they are, the result?
don't share the results. Like
Okay.
don't just show them unless you're asked.
Okay.
But yeah, but yeah, with the feedback, just try and help them with as many positive suggestions for change as you can. All right, so when we bring them back in, I'll moderate and announce, and then I'll hand it over to Judge Mark. So when we bring them back in, Mark will announce the winning team, the losing team, and the best speaker. And then Mark will provide feedback for the speakers, and then just pass it on to the next judge. They'll read out their feedback. Next judge read out their feedback. So Judge Mark and I are going to take point on this bit. I'll announce, and then I'll hand it over to Mark, and you run through with all the judges.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah.
Okay, so if we're ready, let's bring them back in, shall we?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, I close the room. So they are in now.
Terrific. Okay, hello everybody, welcome back. The judges have been long and hard at deliberation, making sure that their feedback for our debaters is of a high standard and will help you in the future. And we wanted to make sure that we tabulated the scores as best we could. So thank you all for your patience. I'd now like to hand you over to the head of our judging panel for this debate, Mark, who will announce the results and then give his feedback. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks for the great final debate. It was honestly a very nice debate and the best debate I've seen, probably because it is the final. So for example, so I will announce the winner and the best speaker. So the winner for this debate is Team MLM. Congratulations. The other team, you guys did fine too. You guys did great. It was a 0.9 margin, so it was less than 1, and it was a very close debate. Therefore, we spent a lot of time talking about it. So, stating that, I would like to start giving personal feedback to each of the speakers. So let's start with Bob from Friends, the first speaker from Friends. So you did great with defining the terms in the debate and the terms in the motion. What I wanted you to do more is that you could have defined it in a way that, one, is not biased, of course, because it is the definition, but it could have been more beneficial to your side of the house. For example, your definition was physical force and discipline, meaning that to exert physical force, power, and impact on a certain body or whatever. And it refers to a lot of ways, i.e., and I would like you to start listing out some of those and list out like why this benefit, like what happens, what the impacts first. So therefore, you have a better grounds on later during your speech. You can later analyze it and exploit it more. So your arguments were fine. It was developed. It had normal impact. So you stated about the increase in compliance. So therefore, the children develop a sense of responsibility and know the consequences of their actions, as well as cultural and long-standing traditions, right? So speaking of that, your scores will be the average scores for each term will be style 6, content 6.1, strategy 3.3, and your average total is a 15.4. Now I'd like to move on to the first opposition speaker. I'll go zigzag. So basically, okay, you define much more. Children equals less than 18 years old. Though to be honest, it would have been the obvious path, and it wouldn't like be necessary to reclaim it again. So rebuttals, you have stated that, oh, this is a long-standing tradition, but therefore it's a bad tradition, and I would like it would be much more beneficial to your team, like much more, because if you could have rebutted this, you could have said, no, this is a bad tradition, then your team would have won the whole clash, and your team kind of did, but not on a landslide, and I would like to see that you would have exploited this point even more. So your first point stated on the harmfulness of this PD, physical discipline, linked to child abuse, depression, and therefore it's equal to child abuse, and therefore the children start forming hatred to their parents, and I set bad examples for future from your child to later generations, right? And a small point that I would want you to even engage more even on, and I think the second speaker from your side of the house did it quite nicely. So children, like they learn that physical force is used to solve problems. And I would want you to state if this is bad or good and provide me the tangible impacts of this. And you have also stated the other alternatives, but I would have wanted more impact. So basically, on your speech, I think the mechanisms are really well, but I need more like impact on therefore, if this mechanism happened, then what would like impact and what would be the impact? So second, and therefore your points would be, your scores would be first speaker from opposition, 6.9 on style, 6 on the content, and strategy is a 3.5, therefore bringing an average total to 16.4. So second speaker, Anne, right? And you were congratulations, you were the best speaker for this whole debate. and I will explain later. So basically, your rebuttal was using physical force while still explaining how they are wrong. Therefore, the mechanisms on the other side would not be credited. Okay, yeah, the rebuttal was credited by me, and I think that was a very great rebuttal. So you have explained why physical force isn't actually child abuse. Because child abuse is when you hit your child when they don't do anything and you just abuse them for the sake of yourself. And then you stated more and you created more extensions for your first speaker. You showed firstly your side of the house showed the children that there will be consequences for their action, and therefore it's actually good. And you discarded the first speaker from opposition side line of mechanism, and later on you will lead to more impacts, like the impacts of using physical force. Therefore, their children will remember the lessons, and if this doesn't happen, then the children will be entitled and therefore will lead to more consequences, right? And you took example with your uncle, grandpa, and smoking, and I think that was nice. So your scores were style 7.1, content 6.9, strategy 4.2, and the total to 18.2. Michael, your I think that there have been more room for improvements. I felt like your rebuttals were not clear and concise. You stated that on, like, my rebuttal will be explained in my line of mechanism or line of arguments or anything, but it would have been much more beneficial in which you have stated out which line of argument is the rebuttal. So therefore the judges, and I think this happened to the whole panel judge, whereas we couldn't see your rebuttals so nicely, so we couldn't credit it fully. So also on your you have provided a lot of impacts. I really liked it, but I needed more mechanisms and everything. So therefore your impacts were there, but it would have been much more beneficial for your site if there was, like, why there was this impact and everything. And you also stated out a very important point, and will be used later in the clash, meaning that physical discipline is banned in Vietnam. Could have been benefited if you stated, oh, like the what would happen out of this and what would happen if this was not implanted or implemented or everything. So Michael, you got average point of style 6.6, content 6.8, strategy 3.5, and a total of 16.8. Andrew, Andrew, the third from proposition, right? So Andrew, you were nice. I felt like, even though you did not state that, oh, these were the catches and everything, but you were nice in enhancing your team's case, and you provided much better, like, impacts and tangible impacts and mechanism. But you could have worked much better. Like, I feel like that argument, like, overshadowed the rebuttal side of it, because the rebuttal side of it could have been the rebuttal side of it could have been more improved, because you could have, like, explained it more, because I see that your rebuttal only took, like, what, one line or two lines, and therefore could not be fully credited, and you would have benefited more if you focus a little bit more on the rebuttals, because I see that you still have some time left. So you restated your team's point. Physical discipline is a means of teaching respect and developing self-control, and therefore teach children to consider the consequences and also cultural norms, and it's still effective in teaching children boundaries and respect. And you stated why this is much better than parents talking and getting ignored, and it increased emotional intelligence. But I need you to state why, and this is also the same for most of the other speakers, right? So your style was a RG 3.4, total of 17.1. And Mina, your rebuttal, I felt like it could have been worked on more, because the rebuttal, you stated, oh, of course that physical disciplination will lead to this depression. And I mean, if you would have spent more, like, time, like, actually thinking about this, you would have went and would have proved to the judges why this does happen. And I think this is relatively easy, but for the judges to see, and therefore I couldn't credit it simply because it was just a simple one-liner. So you enhance on the point that it will set bad examples for future generation, and therefore it views about violence and physical force as a solution to everything in life. So, and you also stated that this doesn't work, and enhance on the aspect that it is against the law in Vietnam. So your style is 6 content. Wait, no, your style is wait, now, right? Your style is 7.1, and now the reply speaker, I'll do this from Michael. So Michael, it was a very good reply. I had to give it to you, right? It was a good reply in which that you enhanced what the third speaker didn't do. I felt like Mina, you could have done better if you stated the clashes of it. But okay, it was stated in the reply, and because it was stated in the reply, it couldn't have like a lot of explanations and everything. But Michael, you handled it pretty well. So you stated that main clashes about the culture and the effectiveness of PD, like physical discipline, right? So I think that was necessary for reply to do since third didn't do it. And so your reply scores were 3.7, 2.6, 1.6, and bring a total to 7.9. And Annie, on the reply, I felt like you could have benefited more on what Michael did, even though that your third speaker, Andrew, stated the clashes of the debate. But Annie, you could have like explained further on like the aspects, different aspects of why we win this debate, because that is what the reply speaker must do. And you stated on the points that your team has done, and I think Andrew did it already. So I couldn't. So it was basically the same. So I think you got to improve by speaking out like different points and pointing out why our team won. So their scores was 3.2, 2.4, 1.7, and the total was 7.3. That is basically for the individual feedback from me, and I would like to hand it to Judge Max simply because I think he has a lot to say.
So to give my feedback, I'll give my feedback. I'll give some general comments, and then I'll give some individual feedback to further more explain your questions on Judge Mark's feedback. So my general comments are very simple. So I think all the teams here, they must work on their speaker time management, because one at a time like nobody reached the mark of 3 minutes and 30 of the mark of like average mark to get a good mark on time management. So that's a big con on your side, of all people's side, and also work on your pronunciation of the accent of people to reduce, especially the first speaker of the proposition. So for the first speaker of proposition, Bob, so we gave him a very high mark in the judgment rubric because of his introductions of logical fallacies inside his speech, which negatively introduced to the quality of the debate. With but he had a very good speech with some average rebuttals, and an excellent characterization of the motion, which further on benefited other people in his team. For the second speaker, Ain. So Ain had a great voice and body language. So we gave her a very good mark because and because of her models and a great approach to her arguments. The only thing that she didn't do was because of the quality of evidence that she gave. It was one of the logical fallacies of circular reasoning, and the quality of evidence, like it was based on people that we cannot trust too much. But overall, a very good speech. Well done. So on the third speaker of the proposition, Andrew. So Andrew, you had a great voice and body language. We gave you a very good mark because of your rebuttals and the great approach to the characterization of your closing remarks of your team. The only thing is to do is to not introduce new points, since that's not the role of the first speaker, which negatively impacted your own scores. For the proposition speaker reply, so Ain made a very great way to respond into an argument with using the even if style, and she did very great with that, which also contributed to a great reply speaker score and a very good result. So now moving on to the opposition team. So the first opposition speaker was Lucy, I believe. So we gave her 68% or a very good mark because of introduction to logical fallacies like Bob, and to be clear, it was hasty generalization and circular reasoning. But overall, she got a very good speech when she introduced the great characterization and declining the definition, which benefited her team, more than theirs. So for the second speaker, Michael. So I think Michael had a great mind in presenting. He got very good arguments, and he also used the benefits that the first speaker had characterized, which and she was the only one to, I believe, talked about the part of the motion about Vietnam, which was the main stakeholder of this whole entire debate. So he had a great craft argument, and he had well-made rebuttals. So he deserves a very close to an excellent mark. He got a 78%, which but the only disadvantage is due to his accent, which I cannot hear clearly. So in short, a well done for Michael. So for the third opposition, Mina. So she had a great approach in proving why her points of standing using the even if style. She had a great rebuttals and pronunciation, which scored a very high mark using the judging rubric, which because she emphasizes her strongest points, which is the only thing that the first speaker should do. So for the opposition speaker reply, so Michael made a very great way to respond into an argument. So he did great, which I give a good job. He also talked about the effect on society, which was a great thing to talk about due to this debate. So that's well done for every team, and congratulations for the opposition for winning this debate. So to continue my adjudication, I would like to pass my adjudication to Judge Winston.
Thank you, Max. Most of my feedbacks already said by Max. So overall, I think this debate was good, but some of you guys speaking speed was kind of too fast for my comfort. I know there's a time pressure on you, but still you should minimize. You should slow down so the judges can know what you were trying to talk about and basically process your idea. Yeah, that's all. Well, I would like to pass the mic to Judge Black. So yeah, Judge Black, do you want to say anything or what?
Okay, well, since I'm one of the last ones, everyone just took all my ideas and said them, so I'm just gonna give some very basic feedback and some of them that only I had. So first, I focused a little bit more than normal on the style of everyone's speaking time and the debate time. First there was Bob.
I gave him a sort of meh score, like average, because his style, like he had like what is it, like no face, like just neutral, like like that. So it was a little emotionless, and he didn't have as much hand gestures. He did explain the definition, but then as Mark said, he said something about like, the definition should not be biased because it's like a fact and not your opinion on it. Second proposition is Anne, who was proudly put as best speaker of this whole debate. Her style was good. I think there was like just a tiny bit of a stutter at like the beginning, but the rest she was pretty good and we could hear her all clearly. And the content and personal example was pretty good, and I think she did do the rebuttals. Last of the proposition is Andrew, and he also had a sort of a monotone and like similar to Bob's face, like not much expressions and little little hand gestures because I could only see like this, like how you're seeing me right now. So I give his style a meh. Content, he was good, but in my opinion, it was a little unclear. Hold on. Can you hear me? Okay. Next is his strategy. I think he did rebut, but there wasn't conclusion. Like it just, this is my other speech done, and I didn't hear the conclusion, so that was a bit weird. Next is the reply speeches. Anne was the proposition's reply speaker, and she did pretty good. It was similar to her substantive speech. Next is going to the opposition. Like I said, every other judge before me just said everything that I wrote down, so I really don't have anything else to say. First, Lucy. Is Lucy here? Yeah, Lucy's here. I gave Lucy a very good, like pretty good spell, like in the style 7, content 7, and strategy 3, which is like good. She had good voice modulations. I could see like the eyes like looking into the camera, and I could see some of the hands, but not much. Maybe it's because also like the cam is positioned only like the face. I could see her face clearly though, so that was good. Her content was good. She did I think like Lucy like what, I forgot the word. Like she corrected Bob's definition, so it was, less opinion-y. And strategy, she did good. Anyway, second was Michael. Some words in Michael's speech I couldn't hear clearly. It was like bleh. So it was a little blurry and I couldn't understand him, which led to the fact that I couldn't understand a little part of his speech. But everything else was pretty good. He had good reasons that were pretty convincing. And he did rebut Anne's points. I think Michael had a POI. Last is Nina, which is the third opposition. She did pretty well on the style, and I could hear her clearly. Content, yes, but I think she did sum up the points of the points that her team talked about. And then we have the reply speech that was made by Michael. I also gave the rep speech pretty good points because I could understand it clearly and it was valid. So the total was my file closed. I can't see anything now. So according to all of my points, I also did lean towards the opposition team, which is MLM, but overall this was a very interesting debate, and I'm pretty sure I'm the last judge unless anyone wants to say anything more, or is there still anyone? Is there still any judges? But yeah, that's the end of my feedback, and everyone did really well. I think this is a very high quality debate.
Okay. I guess that's all, Miss Duck.
All right.
Okay.
So thank you, everyone. That is exciting that we're going to say the end of NCSN debate tournament.
For
Championship
2023.
tournament. Just give me 1 second.
Just
All
for
right,
2023.
thank you all the judges. Thank you all the debaters, the observer, the participant, and more important, thank you all the parents who have been behind the scenes to support all the judges, the debaters, and the participant. I would call it a success of the first year of NCSN debate, and we hope that you will support us for the second year of NCSN debate, which I'm guessing that we will wait until summer holiday of 2024. Yeah, all right. So I know that, you're going to have an exam, a midterm exam very soon. So all the best to the judges, the debaters, and all the participants for today. All right. Thank you for all your efforts. Mr. Moderator, would you like to say anything else?
Yes, thank you,
before we
Ms.
say
Duck.
goodbye?
So yeah, a huge congratulations to our winners, to MLM, and a huge congratulations to Anne, our best speaker of the Grand Championship this year. It's been an absolute blast to organize this tournament with Ms. Duck. You wouldn't believe the meetings that we had to have that went into making this work. They're probably not watching it at the moment, but a huge
3
thank
hours.
you to,
More than 3 hours.
That was just the first meeting, Rob. That was just the first meeting. But yeah, no, a huge thank you to Sophia as well, who helped out with the first few training workshops. Her and her mum actually had a huge role in helping Ms. Duck and I out, make a few of the plans and come up with a few of the ideas. And yeah, brilliant work from all our debaters throughout the whole tournament. And fantastic work to everyone that got here to the finals today. So congratulations, guys. The first tournament is in the books. We've done it. And of course, we couldn't have done it without you guys. So thank you so much for your participation and support. I look forward to continuing classes with NCSN moving into the future. So thank you, Ms. Duck. Thank you, everyone else.
Yeah, I would like to also forgot that I would like to say thank you to all the student helpers. So we have like, I think more than 50 student helpers, and some of them who couldn't make it to be the judges, but their efforts to, help the debaters to where they are today. This is the great efforts, and for every single efforts we appreciate, and we do hope that you enjoy yourself and you have learned a lot. Yes, Okay, Mike, you want to say something? Is it fun? Are you happy?
Yeah, I'm good, but like Rosa said, you shouldn't do it. Like you're so exhausting. And I'm like, but it's fun. It needs to be exhausting to be fun. Like you put a lot of effort into it, and then when you get the result, you're like, yay, yippee. Say it like that. Yeah, it's fun. I want to do it.
Judge, you don't care about me. That's the thing. You
I-
only
I-
care what team wins.
I think we forgot. Let's have a reflection of the debater. Right. So maybe I leave the winner to the end. I would like to ask for the feeling, a reflection from the French team. Right. How do you feel? How do you think that looking back of you, how many weeks ago? Is it 6 weeks ago? Yeah, 5, 6 weeks ago,
That's more than
or
a
even
month.
before the training. What do you think? Friends, are you here?
Yeah.
There's only ad left.
Would you be able to turn on the camera? Because this is the last time we can see each other in this context. I mean, yes. Okay, and to be the best speaker overall, what do you think?
I think it's actually fun to go through all like all the competition. And I think that I'm gonna join it also like next year because I found it really fun to debate with other teams, and I found it really entertaining, and I also met a lot of new people and learned a lot from them. So yeah, it's super fun.
All right, thank you. And so next one, I would like to invite who's next? Who's next after you? Still, are they still here or not? They left.
Most
who
of
still
the
here?
guys left. There's only
Yeah, I think Rob. I'm sorry, Bob, and what else? Andrew,
Bob
yeah.
Andrew, yeah, they left.
Okay, right. If they're not here, so I may invite Lucy as the first speaker of the winning team, MLM. May I ask why you call yourself MLM?
It's short for me and Lucy Michael. Like we played together long ago, so I don't even know why I'm in the middle since I'm first speaker.
They're really a multi-level marketing company.
No, it's because like Mina went
What
first.
products
because
are
I
you
think
trying to
Michael,
sell us?
Lucy, and Mina. Yeah. Okay.
They're selling the Vaders that are. They're selling the Vaders. Look, they're using child abuse to sell the Vaders. That's the thing.
like
Can I buy some?
the name is because I'm the youngest, Lucy second, and Michael is the oldest. So yeah.
You're a multi-level marketing company. Yeah, we know.
That is such a coincidence.
Lucy is sandwiched in the middle. How hard is it to be, there's the third
bye.
speaker in the brother and sister who are constantly, fighting.
No, Lucy and Michael are the one who constantly arguing.
Really?
Oh. Yeah, Mina and Michael seem to get along better than most brothers and sisters I've ever met.
No, you don't believe
Maybe it's
it.
because you know,
You
like
don't.
they're
He's
all
not.
should
He's
say
not
something.
even my brother. He's adopted.
Yeah.
True.
Are you
But-
sure?
What was the comment that Rob just posted a minute ago? Did he say that you guys were selling child abuse?
What?
I said that.
Did I hear that right before?
Rosa said that, and then Rob, and
Oh,
then
that
I
was
think
Rosa
Rob
that
said,
said
"Can I
that.
buy
Okay.
some?"
I just got it when Mina said Michael's adopted. I got it. She's selling child abuse. I get it.
Oh, so this is Michael. Michael Archer is adopted. Is it?
No, I'm
No,
not. I
no,
thought Mina
not
was
this
being mean to
Michael.
her brother.
You had never told your teacher. You never know. There's always
Alright.
mysteries. There's
Michael, I
Oh,
mean Michael M&M. Huh? What you want to say?
I want to say that thank you to the judges, moderator, the observers, and student helpers, also the teachers who are teaching in the training, and especially for you since you create such a tournament, online for many Vietnamese and even me to know what debate it is and to practically engaging with it.
Okay, right. Mina, you want to have a final say before we have to end?
Yes,
This call?
firstly, I have to say thank you to everyone, including the moderators, the judges, the students, helpers, and especially the NCSN group, specifically you, because you create a very wonderful competitions. And I want to give my hugest thank you for Step, or student helper. He is a very good student helper. He helped us through the competitions, and he have to I already know. He said sometimes that he slept at like 12 a.m. and he sometimes set the file for us at like 12 or 11 in the night. And he was a very great person, and I have to say thank you for everyone who are engaged in this competition.
Okay, right. Thank you, Mina. Anyone want to have a final say, or we all good to have a good lunch in Vietnam or good dinner in Australia?
I reckon everyone should go have a good lunch, and I look forward to seeing some of you back in classes.
So
Rose,
no more
Mike, do
public
you have
speaking
something?
tonight, but next week, public speaking
Yeah,
class.
public
Okay.
speaking's back next week.
Okay, all right.
Can I
Okay, yes.
thing? Did everyone remember what we debated about on the the offline meeting at the cafe about Mr. Michael being
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Wait,
Don't say that.
wait. Who was
We
talking
have a
about the
debate
offline at the
about
cafe?
this, I
But this
believe
is
that
all
What were
over,
you-
and we
this
might
guy-
not see him after.
Who
Mr.
ended this call
Archer is a
before? Who
woman.
ended this call? I want to hear
That-
this.
Alright,
Talking
we-
about
they
we
are
sort of-
debating.
We
They are
sort of
debating.
debating
kind of
about are
debated
you
if
a
you
woman or
were
not.
a woman or
A
not.
transgender.
Well, I mean, obviously I'm a woman. Check out this beard. A man couldn't grow a beard this beautiful. Obviously, I'm a woman. Come on.
We had like a whole conference of like judges and debaters, like continuously like just laughing and like seriously talking about if Mr. Archer was like feminine.
Okay, I have to stop the live stream, Michael.
Yeah, good call. I